Welcome to the DBC podcast. If you're enjoying this audiobook, please subscribe and like for more. Today we're going on a deep dive into the fascinating world of Kaizen. Now, you might be thinking Kaizen, is that like some new tech thing? Well, not quite. It's actually a Japanese philosophy that's been around for decades, quietly revolutionizing industries, and believe it or not, even personal lives. Think of it this way. Imagine you're trying to climb a mountain. You could try to leap to the top in one giant bound, but chances are you just wear yourself out before getting very far. Kaizen is like taking that climb one step at a time. Each step might seem small, even insignificant, but when you string them all together, you steadily make your way to the summit. Kaizen at its heart means continuous improvement. It's about embracing a mindset where you're constantly looking for ways to make things better, even if it's just a little bit at a time. The beauty of Kaizen is it doesn't require massive overhauls or radical changes. It's about those tiny incremental improvements that when compounded over time lead to remarkable results. Now, where did this idea come from? Picture post-World War II, Japan industries were devastated and the country was struggling to rebuild. It was during this time that Kaizen emerged as a way to not only recover, but to excel. With guidance from American experts like W. Edwards Deming, Japanese companies embraced this philosophy of continuous improvement, focusing on things like eliminating waste and empowering every single worker to contribute to making things better. And the results were astounding. Companies like Toyota, using Kaizen principles, went from making simple looms to producing some of the most reliable cars in the world. Imagine they managed to cut the time it took to change the massive dies used to make car parts from hours down to mere minutes. That's not magic. That's Kaizen in action. The success of Toyota and other Japanese companies caught the attention of the world. Pretty soon, Kaizen spread beyond manufacturing, finding its way into healthcare service industries and even government agencies. And it's not just for organizations either. Individuals have discovered that these same principles can be applied to their personal goals, habits, and even relationships. Now let's break down what makes Kaizen tick.
There are 10 core principles that act like a roadmap for implementing this philosophy. They might seem simple at first glance, but they're deceptively powerful. The first principle is all about challenging the status quo. It's about saying, okay, we've always done it this way, but is there a better way? Kaizen encourages us to question assumptions, to experiment, and to never be satisfied with good enough. Then you got the principle of taking action. It's easy to complain about problems or inefficiencies. Kaizen says, don't just talk about it, do something about it. It empowers individuals to take initiative, to be problem solvers, and to make a difference. These first two principles set the stage for a culture of continuous improvement, and the remaining 8 build upon this foundation. We'll dive deeper into those in the next part of our deep dive. For now, just remember this. Kaizen is about progress, not perfection. It's about embracing the journey of constant learning and improvement, one small step at a time. All right, so let's get back to those 10 principles of Kaizen. Remember, we talked about challenging the status quo and taking action.
Well, the third principle builds on that momentum, urging us to make things happen, even when faced with excuses or obstacles. Kaizen is about finding a way, not giving in to reasons why something can't be done. Now, the fourth principle reminds us that improvement isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing journey. It's about constantly striving to make things better, even when they seem pretty good already. Think of it like an athlete who keeps training, even after winning a championship. They know that to stay at the top of their game, they can't rest on their laurels. Principle number 5 challenges us to break free from outdated ways of thinking. Kaizen encourages us to let go of those "we've always done it this way" mindsets and be open to fresh perspectives and new approaches. The sixth principle is all about being resourceful and finding clever ways to improve. Kaizen recognizes that even small improvements can add up to significant savings, and those savings can be reinvested into making things even better. It's like a virtuous cycle of continuous improvement. Principle number 7 is a real game changer. It's about empowering everyone to be a problem solver. Kaizen believes that every single person, regardless of their position or title, has valuable insights to offer. When you create an environment where everyone feels empowered to contribute, you unleash a powerful force for improvement. Now let's talk about principle number 8. This one is like having a superpower for problem solving. It's the 5 whys technique. Imagine something goes wrong. Instead of just fixing the immediate issue, Kaizen asks you to dig deeper. Ask why 5 times to get to the root cause of the problem. This prevents those pesky issues from popping up again and again. Principle number 9 highlights the importance of collaboration. Kaizen recognizes that we're smarter together. It encourages us to seek out diverse perspectives, gather information from multiple sources, and leverage the collective wisdom of a team. And finally, principle number 10 beautifully sums up the entire Kaizen philosophy. It reminds us that improvement has no finish line. There's always room to grow, to learn, and to do things better. Kaizen is about embracing a mindset of continuous learning and improvement, a never-ending journey of striving for excellence.
Now, you might be wondering how to actually put these principles into practice. Well, one of the key concepts in Kaizen is the idea of small changes leading to big results. Remember that mountain climbing analogy. Each step you take might seem small, but over time they add up to conquering that summit. Think about those tiny habits you have. Maybe you leave your keys in a different spot every day and you're constantly searching for them. A simple Kaizen solution could be designating a specific spot for your keys by the door. That's a small change, but it can save you a lot of frustration in the long run. Another important aspect of Kaizen is the idea of Gemba, which means the real place. In the context of Kaizen, it means going to the actual place where work is done, observing the process firsthand, and talking to the people involved. It's about getting your hands dirty, understanding the nitty-gritty details, and seeing how things really work. And then there's Muda, the Japanese word for waste. Kaizen is all about identifying and eliminating waste in all its forms. This could be wasted time, wasted materials, wasted motion, or even wasted talent.
By getting rid of muda, you free up resources, streamline processes, and make things more efficient. One way to tackle muda is by using the 5S methodology. Think of it as a spring cleaning for your workspace, or even your life. It involves 5 steps. Sort, set in order, shine, standardize, and sustain. Basically, it's about decluttering, organizing, cleaning, creating clear procedures, and making it a habit. Now let's take a look at how Kaizen's played out in the real world. Back in the 1980s, American companies were facing stiff competition from Japanese manufacturers. One company, Motorola, decided to fight back by focusing on quality. They adopted a methodology called Six Sigma, which, while having its own unique framework, shares many principles with Kaizen. It's about eliminating defects, reducing variation, and achieving near-perfect quality. The results were dramatic. Motorola saved billions of dollars by improving their processes and reducing defects. Their success showed that continuous improvement, whether you call it Kaizen or Six Sigma, could be a powerful competitive advantage. And it wasn't just Motorola. Lockheed Martin, the aerospace giant behind the F-16 fighter jet, was facing rising costs and declining efficiency. They turned to Kaizen, implementing lean manufacturing principles, empowering their employees, and focusing on eliminating waste. The impact was incredible. This significantly reduced manufacturing costs, slashed inventory needs, and cut delivery times in half. These examples prove that Kaizen can work even in large, complex organizations. But here's the thing. Kaizen isn't just for big companies. It's for anyone who wants to make things better. It's for the student who wants to improve their grades, the athlete who wants to break their personal best, and the artist who wants to refine their craft. So how do you, bring Kaizen into your own life? You don't need a factory floor or a fighter jet to benefit from this philosophy. Start by thinking about those little frustrations you face every day. Maybe it's constantly losing your keys, feeling overwhelmed by clutter, or struggling to stick to a new habit. Those are all opportunities for Kaizen. Remember, it's not about trying to overhaul your entire life overnight. It's about choosing one small thing and making a tiny improvement. Let's say you want to start exercising more regularly. Instead of aiming for an hour-long gym session right off the bat, start with a 10-minute walk around the block. Make it a habit, and then gradually increase the duration or intensity. Small, consistent steps, remember. Now, I know what you might be thinking. What if I fail? What if I make a mistake? Well, guess what? Failure is a part of the process. In fact, Kaizen embraces failure as an opportunity to learn and improve. The key is to view setbacks not as defeats, but as valuable feedback. Ask yourself, what went wrong? What can I do differently next time? Remember that story about the factory manager who moved a tool closer to a worker? It was a tiny change, but it made a big difference in the efficiency of the entire production line. That's the power of Kaizen. Those small, seemingly insignificant tweaks can have a ripple effect, leading to remarkable improvements over time. The most important thing is to adopt the Kaizen mindset. Become an observer of your own life. Look for those little inefficiencies, those moments of frustration, and those areas where things could be just a little bit better. Then don't be afraid to experiment, to try new things, and to find what works for you. Kaizen is a journey, not a destination. It's about embracing a mindset of continuous learning, growth, and improvement. It's about those tiny steps forward, those small victories, that ultimately lead to a more fulfilling, efficient, and successful life. So what small change will you make today? What tiny step will you take on your own Kaizen journey? Remember, every journey starts with a single step. Take that step and see where it leads you. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the world of Kaizen. And remember, continuous improvement is a lifelong adventure, so keep learning, keep growing, and keep striving to make things better, one small step at a time.